my guy KD. He says he feels trapped out here in these dating single streets. Matter of fact, I want to get him right. He says, this dating shit sucks. It's addictive, not freeing. I like my peace, no emotional strings and intimacy. I'd rather pay for the experience, no drama. Right? And they do call him the sniper. He is a sniper, right? The Slim Reaper is what they call him, right? So what are y'all thoughts in terms of him? I mean, he's a young man, ridiculously rich. People know him. I can imagine the challenges that he has to deal with, but he has his perspective in regards to just rather paying for the experience or engaging. I mean, instead of having to emotionally commit. He says it's addictive. I thought that was interesting. But what are your thoughts on his position in terms of, his vantage point? And do you guys think that, like, when you hear all this conversation about men who are six figures or whatever, right? I sometimes feel like you hear them kind of emotionally disconnecting, looking at things more transactionally, or feeling like they have to get to a certain status to get what they want. And I'd have to imagine there's a certain level of disconnect emotionally that happens in that journey. So what are you guys' thoughts in terms of, is this something that's just for the KDs of the world, or do you think that also guys who maybe feel more accomplished are just having a hard time finding the right thing? He mentions he likes his peace, right? So what are your thoughts on that?
So I want to jump in first on this one because I say kudos to you, sir. And you know why? Because I'm happy that you're honest about this, because it shows a level of maturity, i.e. self-awareness, that you may have in regards to yourself. Now, true enough, it looks like you opting out of some emotional labor, because that could be the immature side of you where you can't handle the emotional labor that comes with the relationship. But the fact that you was honest enough to recognize that you can't handle the emotional labor, I support that. And so I'm going to say kudos to this. I actually think that for affluent men, so we're going to break it down to two different sides. I think for affluent men, if they feel like they're at that level where they just need the punani and they don't want the ties that comes with it, then kudos to them, because they have more to lose, so to speak, right? Because they already identified that they have XYZ. Like, look at Chris Brown. He also was another one who stated that he's not trying to have relationships because it's to maintain his own wealth, right? It's costly to be in some of these relationships, and which is some of the concerns of the poorer folks, we'll put it that way. But anyways, with that being said, I think it's one of those things where he had to outweigh what's the risk, what's the reward for him. He said, hey, my reward is my own personal peace. I get to punani. Hopefully he's wrapping it up and he's not getting no STDs or STIs. And he's definitely not in Houston where there's a higher rate of this going on, or the DR where AIDS is on the, so kudos to you, sir, and anybody else who think like that. I say this is great. Unfortunately, on the women's side, this means some of these high value men no longer see, how can I say? I guess I won't say they no longer see themselves as the prize per se, but they see themselves as, hey, I'm providing this transaction, which unfortunately translates to other men in different demographics who may say, oh, you know what? We complain about transactional gold diggers and so forth, but let's go this route now. So just depending on the side of the spectrum you're on, I say kudos. On the other side, I'm just like bullshit. So for the people who are looking at this and they're saying, hey, I want to be a six figure or a high value man, or whatever the phrase is now, then it becomes, oh, well, I'm going to keep this transactional because I'd rather just pay for the punani because I'm a high value and it's not worth my time and resources or whatever. And for them people, they're like, oh, but she's a gold digger. Well, sir, you wanted a gold digger. So, and she ain't want no broke nigga, as they say. So go ahead and let her dig this gold, recognize this role that you decided to play, and then don't complain about it later on when you're like, all women are gold diggers because I made this transactional. You made that choice. So live in it, breathe in it, sleep in it, lay in it. Do you?
Okay, let me push all the way back on that foolishness that was whatever. There was some good stuff in there. It was some nuggets in there. And then you said something about, and then he realized that men are not the prize. And I was like, okay, she lost me. Okay, clearly she is on some other stuff right now.
She lost everyone.
Because that is the crux of what the problem is. He is the prize. Men like him, Paul Pierce, this high value male that people keep talking about, it makes them the prize. And because he's the prize, he realized that now when he deals with women, he's got to try to factor out and filter out how many women are just after my money, how many of them really just like me because I'm KD, right? And so what he decided was, hey, I'm just going to go for the ones who I know just want the money. At least then we both understand what the situation is. We can keep pushing. She got the good kush. I got the money. Swap, swap. Keep pushing. No baby trapping, no scandals, no nothing. I ain't got to call you in 3 days. I ain't got to check up on you. I ain't got to send you tickets to my games. KD said the quiet part out loud. I'm going to just pay for it. And the internet lost his mind. And I think y'all tripping. I mean, let's be real. Convenience culture is not new, right? We've been swiping left and right on dating and connection and making it as quick and easy as we can for the longest, right? So we've been trained to expect instant gratification over with zero emotional attacks. We've been we order like Uber Eats, right? You want affection, you subscribe. You want sex, there's an app for that. So if he say pay for it, he's not inventing nothing. This ain't new. It's almost an evolution of a consciousness. The man is simplifying things. He's just expressing what's already normalized. We've reduced intimacy anyway into a product with customer service complaints. Like it's, man, he wanted to doubt me. My WAP is good. It's just, we've already commodified the whole thing, right? So all I'm saying is let's just skip to the end. I think Durant's doing that. All he's saying is not new. It's not edgy. It's just a luxury version of emotional detachment. And if that's where we are, then fine. But the real question is, are we creating relationships that protect our peace, like he said, or just creating situations that protect us from feeling anything at all? And then when you get old, where does that leave you?
Like Paul Pierce. I mean, Paul Pierce, I think, is single and chilling. Nigga got the little silk shirt on doing his show like he ain't what's happening. I think you guys said some really good things. But like usual, you guys don't dig deeper into what's actually being said. So let me help you here a little bit, right? He says, this dating stuff sucks. Why would he say that? Let's think about that. That sounds like somebody who's out here dating and he says it sucks. He goes on, it's addictive, not freeing, right? It doesn't sound like a person who's having a hard time. It's like a person who's out there just, oh my God, it's like a drug. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting high off of it. You know what I'm saying? What is it bringing me? All this coochie out here. Oh my God, it's addictive. It's not freeing, pulling me towards the pussy is what he's saying, right? Because he continues, I like my peace, which tells me that he's had bad experiences with pussy that disturbed his peace. Like he's emoting, he's building a narrative here. He is telling us what's in his heart and his soul right now. Like, I like my peace. No emotional strings. What he is saying is when he's had emotional strings and or ties, his peace was disturbed. I mean, at this point in time, I don't even really hear anything that talks about money at all. Right? And he continues, and intimacy. And this is where I think some people get tricked. He says, I'd rather pay for the experience, no drama. I think what Katie is saying, he's a fuckboy. That's what Katie, like, because the way I made it sound, y'all think he's moving transactional. He's not. He's out here dating. He's treating women kindly, being a gentleman that his mama raised him to be. Right? He's having dalliances with women, and he probably realizes don't want him for nothing more than at least his perception of his wealth and who he is at this time, right? He's going to get married one day, eventually, when his playing career is over, but he's a hooper. He's focused right now. He wants to play, win another championship, etc. So he wants peace because that's the kind of guy he wants, but he also wants love. Y'all read people's stuff, and y'all automatically just paint them into the worst person. I hear a cry for help here. I hear somebody who does still want love. If y'all may not recall, I think he was engaged once upon a time to a good, clean Christian girl, if I remember correctly. Maybe it didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean that the desire is still not there. So yes, right? Maybe he's intimating that where he's at right now, he'd rather pay for experiences. But let's be honest, so that doesn't mean he's just only paying for the pussy, right? That means he's paying to create vibes. What does that experience probably look like for a nigga worth $1,000 million, right? You know what I'm saying? And do you think those women who, yes, maybe they're attracted to him because that's part of it, but that's not the only thing? You know what I'm saying? He got some conversation, don't he? Something. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is, I get it. It's easy for us to make him a two-dimensional caricature, right? As some rich guy who's going to end up like Paul Pierce. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that for him. I don't see that for him. I just think that where he's at right now, he's focused, but he's also having a hard time, which brings me to the other point. There are men out here, rich and or regular, who are having a hard time telling the difference between the real quality women and the rest of them who are not so quality. Okay? There are some men out here just having a tough time. You know what I'm saying? And we so quick to just blame it on, oh, men are not talking to women as much. No, some of y'all don't even really deserve to be talked to the way that y'all dress or look or present out here in public. Not no man who's self-respecting, who has a budget in mind, who's trying to build for real. Y'all want people out here also fuck shit with their finances flourishing in front and pretending that y'all can feel better about claiming them as opposed to building for real, for real. And then y'all get mad at the guy in the Honda who you never look at in the first place. Anyway, that's a whole different ballgame, right? What I'm saying is that rich and or poor, there are men who can say the same thing. This dating stuff sucks.